And we're back. Thank you for sticking with Not a Robot. We are getting into our full dive books for the week, starting us off with Superman number 4. Speaking of Superman, you heard about him not long ago in World's Finest, and he's back in the present day with number 4, written by Joshua Williamson, with art from Jamal Campbell and Nick Dragota, and colors also from Jamal Campbell and Frank Martin, with letters from Ariana Maher, and a gorgeous cover from Jamal Campbell. And literally, you have to put gorgeous and Jamal Campbell in the same sentence, because everything this man draws is freaking gorgeous. God damn. All right,
we got some talent to him, that's for sure.
Definitely. All right, we open up on a mysterious silver-haired woman making Pop-Tarts, cooking breakfast, and is met by none other than the oh my gosh, what are the doctors' names that are Lex's enemies? They're so new, I don't remember their names. Unless they're old and I just
isn't
didn't
it
know.
Like the Society of Evil Geniuses or something
like that? Yeah, one of the head evil scientists that hate Lex Luthor show up with men with pills for heads, which is very on the nose, but that's enough about that. Shows up at the door with a top of the morning to you, as we find out this silver-haired woman is none other than Silver Banshee, and this scientist has kryptonite claws, one of every color, and uses these kryptonite claws to capture Silver Banshee, taking away her powers and taking over her mind. Lex, meanwhile, in prison, is taking some acorn nuts straight to the throat of a man talking too much shit about Superman and too much nonsense about Batman, saying that Batman can beat Superman any day. Pfft, please, we've all seen that fight, and you're right. But that's not the point. Superman then has a discussion with Lex about, what the f you doing here, bud? Are you actually changing your ways or what? And then Lex does a once-over about all the things they've done together, saving the day, and how he actually is in it to win it. He wants to help, and before Superman showed up, he was a hero himself. He left Smallville behind with big dreams, big aspirations, and moved to Metropolis, the city of tomorrow, with hopes to make the world a better place, finding that there was crime all over the place, and homeless people, for one, are being taken by some evil scientists. So he fashions a pseudo-hero costume of his own, in green and purple as usual, with a big fat L on his shoulder and
naturally
luscious red locks way before he went bald, and uses his I guess L spheres. They're not T spheres because there's an L on them, to capture some of these scientists, but also these pill-headed goons, so you know who the scientists are, from taking more homeless people. He frees the homeless people that he can, but makes powerful enemies of these two evil scientists. Superman does not believe him at first, but eventually maybe will trust him if Lex is a little more honest with him and shows where this hidden laboratory was. Supes goes straight there and finds things a little suspicious as Lex realizes it's a trap. Silver Banshee is there.
It's a trap.
And it's a trap, and is powered up by the kryptonite claws, as we saw at the beginning of the issue, using her new scream powers that can now summon ghosts. Something straight out of Dragon Ball Z yet again. I swear that was a Gotenks power. But that's... I digress about Dragon... Everything goes back to Dragon Ball, let's face it. They fight and end up on the streets where Jimmy and Lois are talking about the new mysterious Marilyn Moonlight and the stories that come with her, as Silver Banshee and Superman erupt from the ground in a fight, and as Superman uses his scientific know-how, superheating the air around her face, not burning her skin, but sucking the air around so she can't scream, knocks her down as Jimmy gets in the way and says, "You can't hurt her. I love her."
What?
Oh, Jimmy.
Oh, Jimmy.
So I fell in love with a supervillain. Now, there's one thing about this at the beginning I did not bring up, but I wanted to point out. When Silver Banshee is making Pop Tarts at the beginning, she's talking to somebody in a bedroom and says, "Get your wee butt out of bed, turtle baby." And I thought I got spoiled by the end of the issue before I read it, so I saw turtle baby. I'm like, huh, that's a deep cut to when Jimmy in the, I believe, Silver Age got turned into a giant turtle monster.
Yeah.
I believe. At least that's what I took it as. I thought that was very interesting. And Josh, damn it, I hate your background.
Well, it could also be from the. I mean, maybe it's both, but I remember in the first issue of the Matt Fraction, Steve Lieber, Jimmy Olsen series, he is turned into a turtle and crashes into the, what is it, like the Lion of Metropolis or something?
Oh yeah.
I'm sure it's like both of these.
Yeah,
He just
I
has a
forgot
habit
about
of
that.
turning into a turtle or
Yeah.
something like that.
Turtle, turtle.
Oh, Jimmy. And Josh, is that just the whole first episode? I thought, like,
Yep.
fuck's sake. I can't
sure
I can't
is.
record like this. I'm just gonna be watching your screen for the rest of the This guy's got Green Lantern the animated series playing. You friggin' bastard. Love it. Anyway. Apart from Jimmy and Silver Banshee being a new dynamic, this dynamic that Soups and Lex has going on, I think is very cool. It's not the first time that this has happened where they've ended up on a team together, and you can't help but question Lex's motives. But this still feels really good. It feels oddly fresh and very interesting. That there's some new dynamics to it that we haven't seen before, like Lex's history as a costumed hero before Superman, when he was still in high school on the farm, and just giving his corporation to Superman to just help save the day. I think it's really cool, but it might just be I'm thinking that way because Lex is one of my favorite characters in existence. Maybe I'm a little biased. Maybe it's Maybelline. I don't know. These kryptonite claws, I think, are kind of interesting. I still can't remember the scientist's name, this evil scientist, but
I can't remember
really
it either. But
cool
I find it kind of
idea.
weird that they said that they just turned up the strength of all these different kinds of kryptonites and find that it affects other superpowers too. I mean, that seems weird, doesn't it?
It does seem weird, but at the same time, like, who would ever think to do that? You know, everybody's thinking it's
Well, because
kryptonite,
it only
and
affects
Superman's it only
kryptonite.
affects Kryptonians. Yeah,
People
but
from Kryptonian.
like Smallville, the TV show, caught that years ago, like freaking 20 years ago, that kryptonite could affect humans. Just on that show, it gave them cancer. Actually, no,
Right,
it
that would
did
make
give them
sense.
some superpowers too. So
That's
yeah,
kryptonite, yeah.
it's definitely not an original concept. I don't know if it's ever been done in the comics before, but like I said, Smallville did that 20 years ago, so it's definitely not brand new, but definitely new in the way that they're doing it right now, using it on metahumans, pre-existing metahumans. So I'm all for it. I think it's pretty freaking cool. Uh, we got a classic feeling Jimmy adventure. I'm all for this. I didn't get to finish that Jimmy Olsen miniseries, but I really enjoyed how much I did read of it. That you mentioned, Brandon, from a few
Superman's
years
pal.
ago. Yeah, so I'm all for this issue. 9.25 out of 10.
What about you, Brandon?
I had a great time. I mean, I've just been enjoying the crap out of this run on Superman so far, and the last page in particular was another one of those things that I just kind of had to keep to myself for a week, even though I really wanted to spoil it because it just made me laugh out loud. Just the this is the ridiculous nature of Jimmy being like, Superman, stop! You can't hurt her. I love her. And it's like so over the top and so comical,
Yeah.
but it's very classic Superman, and like you said, just a very par for the course. No, that's not the right word. Like if it's a very fitting Jimmy Olsen story,
Yeah.
in that he would absolutely fall in love with yet another supervillain, and find himself in the middle of this epic battle. just throwing himself in there and creating more drama. So yeah, it's just a lot of fun, and loving the art from Jamal Campbell, even though it was a little wonky for me in the first issue. I think it's really kind of come into its own. But I was definitely excited to see that Nick Tragotta was contributing a couple of pages because I love his art, and I think he really just did a great job with those young Lex scenes, especially designing whatever that like Lex superhero suit that he had on for the brief period of time. So yeah, no, just super fun issue. Loving Superman, super great. 9 out of 10.
Right.
Super great.
Love it.
And you sure can tell the difference between the two artists. That much I could say. When I flipped to that page of Young Lex, it was almost shocking. It was definitely a jolt to go from such amazing art to that. Not that it's bad. It's just definitely not the it's definitely not the same style, and it for me it just doesn't kind of mesh well. But as far as it's still really good. So across the board, the art is really great. As far as the story goes, the main plot again has a shitload of potential to be good. I just don't think it is. It's ridiculous thing after ridiculous thing, and he just changes what he wants. Lex used to be a hero, gave a shit about homeless people. Come the fuck on. Jimmy dating Silver Banshee, I could take it or leave it. I don't care. That's kind of funny because of like Brandon said, of course, he's finding himself dating another fucking villain. But so that part's funny, but the Lex crap and how slow the main story is moving, this fucking book is driving me insane. 5 out of 10.
Oh my god. I need to hold an intervention for you. Fair enough.
You don't need to hold no intervention for me. You need to hold an intervention for Joshua Williamson. Wrong Josh. Wrong Josh.
Oh my goodness. Okay. That was that. Okay, so we're gonna let Josh speak again about Catwoman this time.
Can you believe it?
Not about Superman.
All right. Catwoman number 55, written by, no, seriously, Superman. No, I'm just fucking with you. Written by Teeny Howard, Nico Leone on art, Veronica Gandini on colors. Lettering from Lucas Gattoni, and the cover came from David Nakayama. Lot of great covers this week, but this is by far the best one. This picks up at the Kitty Cat Lounge, where Selena and Eco, both as Catwoman, are knocking the living snot out of the Gentleman's Club, aka Black Mask and cronies. But they now know that Eco is the other Catwoman. With all the gunfire that's going on, the two cat women make their way through the dressing room in the back, and then they disappear before Black Mask and the rest can get to them. At Capullo's Market, love the name, Dario and former boyfriend Noah are meeting, and after a brief scuffle, decide that they're going to meet later on for a one-on-one duel to the death. That
what a date.
whole page made me laugh. Like, what the fuck? Over to the Trixie Hotel, where Selena calls home. Dario shows up for some comfort before he tells her that Eco needs backup at the docks. Because, oh, geez. Oh, Dario, I don't know about you. But Catwoman gets there, and she doesn't need any backup. She's there as Catwoman, and she's kind of got a split anyway, because the Hasagawa clan got it handled, and that would look weird if Catwoman was running with a crime family. So she splits. Back to Selena and Dario now, whom she offers to train to survive his fight. She does that by deciding that they will go after Dario's family. They break in, give Don Tommaso a deal, join with Catwoman, and let the Black Gov can't talk. It sucks. Join with Catwoman and let Black glove in, or don't and be at odds with Catwoman, and that never works out with anybody. He says he needs time to think about it, and when she's gone, of course, Tommaso calls Black Mask to tell him. Seems that Black Mask already knew, and he said, with or without a mask, he is taking the fight to Catwoman. I believe he uses the words, time to be a man. Jesus Christ. The story continues to be fantastic, man. I thoroughly enjoy it every month, and that doesn't seem to be stopping anytime soon. It's been going on for so long. I'm right there with Catwoman the same way I'm with Poison Ivy. Like, if I got a shitty issue, it would surprise the hell out of me. I love it. The art is fire too. The writing is just great. One of the best books of this past year, easily. I gave this one an 8.5 out of 10.
Yeah, feels like we're finally getting back to business again after the brief
Yeah,
stint in the Slammer. Um,
for sure.
Even though business has still been going, but Selena's out and ready to rock again. I like it. It's been a
Meow.
very exciting time for Catwoman. Meow indeed.
Fucking
I
right.
was expecting like a proper Catwoman versus Catwoman fight on the cover, which honestly I thought was kind of confusing, but you don't actually get that, and I am more than okay with it. As cool as it
No,
might have
comic
been to
lovers,
see
one
Selena.
rule of thumb is like there's rules for horror movies. One rule of the comic movies is do not, or comic books is do not trust the cover.
Exactly. It's something I learned
Probably
a
not
long time
happening on
ago,
the inside.
but
Yeah.
I still get a little hopeful sometimes. So,
Mhm.
um, it does bug me though that they do that sometimes. They show something on the cover like you can see this in the issue, and then it doesn't happen. You're like, what the hell? I was looking forward to it in a way. I'm happy though. Selena and Eiko are getting along again. They're just teammates. They're not actually going to have a fight, but Dario having a fight of his own, the fight for his life against his love. Like this is damn near poetic in a way for Dario's life, and like as silly
But you
as it
know
is
Tomcat's
in a
gonna fuck
way.
him up. They
Oh
can't kill
yeah,
off Tomcat.
no. If they do,
I
I'm
hope
gonna be
not.
pissed. Like Dario is a great character.
I feel like he's gonna
um,
end up being a general in Catwoman's little street army.
yeah, that's if we see the Street Army again, which I imagine they'll come back. But I was surprised to not see any of them in
Oh
this
hell, that's
issue.
what she's doing right now. Guarantee it. She's building a
Yeah,
little street army, and Selena is gonna run that side of Gotham. That's why
as
she's
she should.
promising all these bosses that they'll make more money. Just because
Yeah,
she is going to be their boss.
yeah,
And if you don't want to come work for Catwoman, then you don't get to work.
pretty much.
Works for me. This kind of a
And for
story for
Catwoman.
Catwoman is very fitting.
Yeah, it's honestly really good. Like there's say what you will about Batman Eternal. I think it was Batman Eternal. But one of the things I thought was interesting about that is the fact that Catwoman became like a crime lord. Um, and while I wasn't reading Catwoman at the time, so I never got the full story, I thought that was a very interesting dynamic for Selena Kyle. Basically being like the queen of crime in Gotham. So to see it's not at the same extent, but it is on the same lines. I'm very interested in how this is going to play out. So 8.75 out of 10 for this issue. Solid.
Hell yeah, it was.
My score also sits between 0 and 10 because I also did not get a chance to read this issue this week.
Oh, you're missing out, man. This was a really good one. I thought so anyway.
Yeah, time was not permitting.
Fair enough. It's finals
Didn't
week.
didn't
It's
have the time,
understandable.
couldn't you weren't quick enough to fit it in?
Unfortunately, no, but I was quick enough for the next one, which is, of course, The Flash.
The Flash.
Yes, this is The Flash 799, written by Mr. Jeremy Adams with art from Fernanda Passarin and was it Tom Derenick? Yes, Tom Derenick with inks from Eau Claire Albert and Wade Von Grawbadger, colors from Matt Herms and Pete Pantazis, and letters from Rob Lee. The crew of the Starship Terrific are continuing their adventure against Granny Goodness's stronghold, I suppose you could call it, to make sure that they get back the Eternity Sphere, I think it's called, or something like that.
Sounds about
Eternity
right.
Mind.
Eternity Mind. Eternity Mind. And of course, in true Granny Goodness fashion, rather than fight for herself, she sends a bunch of kids to do her job because Granny is nothing if not a responsible parent. So Wally, Mr. Terrific, Ace, and of course our dear friend Hourman are forced to fight a bunch of children while the rest of the Terrifics, Omega Bam Man, and Gold Beetle are fighting off a bunch of giant robots and also the Anti-Monitor because, the easy side of this little challenge. Granny Goodness is running off with Wade and the Eternity Mind, and Granny is convinced that Wade will grow up to be yet another one of her child soldiers, while Ace and Mr. Terrific are fighting off the rest of the current child soldiers. Wally, through the power of Speed Force shenanigans, is able to destroy the Eternity Mind and rescue Wade with enough speed to catch him and knock Granny right on her ass, but she's able to boom tube away before she can get any kind of actual punishment. They make their way back to Granny's stronghold, but not before a couple of revelations are revealed about one of these child soldiers, and I'll let you discover that for yourself rather than spoil it here. But suffice it to say, it's a pretty monumental reveal, especially to end this small little arc on Flash. Unfortunately, in all the ensuing chaos, the Whirligog on Mr. Terrific's ship was destroyed, which means they really have no way to get home. But Wally, being the eternal optimist, decides that they'll find their way home eventually, no matter how long it takes. And we do like a jump cut where it seems like it's been a really long time, as you can tell by a couple of costume changes, but they eventually make their way back home, and we reveal that it's really only been a day in Earth time, but it's certainly been quite a while for the rest of them, and it seems like they got into some crazy adventures on their little magical mystery tour through space, but they were able to make it home, and it's all's well that ends well as Wade is reunited with Linda and the rest of the family, and that is how we close the chapter on this Flash story, at least until next month when we have Flash 800, which will be ushering in the new era of Flash coming in the fall. I really enjoyed this one. I mean, as a two-parter, it was just very solid and very well done. Definitely a surprise reveal as to one of those mystery children that Granny had kidnapped and raised on Apocalypse. And again, I don't want to spoil that because it should be a fresh reveal for anyone who actually checks it out. But just a really solid two-parter and had a lot of fun. So I gave this one an 8.25 out of 10.
Right on. Brandon, I got to ask you a question. I have to ask you a question. Is that even possible, the surprise reveal thing? Or would he have to be from like a different place in the multiverse?
I mean, it's possible, certainly. It's comics, so really anything is possible. But yeah, I don't want to give too many details away for risk of revealing who it is.
Hey, there's an easy answer. There's an easy answer, and I've said it many times. It's a Flash book. Speed Force.
Yeah, no, Speed Force.
Ain't gotta explain
literally anything else.
Exactly.
Fair enough.
Plus time travel. Like, yeah, this kid is aged up more than you'd think he would be, but again, like time travel, who knows? New gods. High Father only knows. Like, I also won't reveal the identity of this kid, but there are two other kids there that I won't reveal their identities either because it's not explicitly named, but it is heavily hinted at.
There's definitely some resemblances that are there.
Yeah. It's been talked about a lot online recently, so I have a good inkling of the identity of those two other kids, which I will not reveal. I mean, it's not explicitly revealed anyway, so I
We
guess I could talk
might
about the
say it on the
theories.
bonus episodes. Just saying.
We could. It it does loosely tie in, so yeah. All right, we could do that. Brandon, have you had any inklings of the identity of these two other children?
Um, Not really. I haven't really had to speculate too much on that. But one of them, I think. Well, again, I think it might have been related to another famous superhero potentially.
Yeah, I'll message you in private after the show,
Mhm.
and we can gab about it a little bit because it's heavily interesting.
Yeah.
Um, as
You
for
will
the
do that
rest,
in our podcast chat. I will not be left out of that discussion. I
oh
need to
yeah, no,
know who
definitely,
these
definitely,
children
yeah.
are.
Don't worry, we will talk. Um, so I can actually strike that one note from my notes here. I won't bring that up. Uh, there's a lot of hints of the future somewhere with this issue. Hopefully, with Adams, maybe he's keeping some things in his back pocket. This hidden adventure thing, these mystery children. There's so much to look forward to, and there's only one issue left. And I'm very disappointed. But to alleviate my disappointment, we have Omega Bam Man and Gold Beetle taking on the Anti Monitor and kicking his ass. I, I'm all for that. And the
Wicked
Terrifics
me.
just like stood in awe, just confused about how this is even possible. Omega Bam Man, like I can definitely understand, but Gold Beetle, I I need to see her kick the Anti Monitor's ass.
Well, I mean, we kind of
She's
did.
so small in comparison to everyone else there. How does she have the tensile strength to bend a giant robot's arm back? It's I really need to see this happen. I'm all
She
for it.
understands physics.
Clearly, time travel will do things to. Hey, Speed Force ain't gotta
Speed
explain
Force.
shit.
Speed boy.
Uh, yeah, so it's 9.5 out of 10. Honestly, solid freaking issue.
Um, yeah, I'm gonna be on that. So let me see here. First statement, strike it. Second statement, strike that. Strike that. Why did Wally age so much, but Wade did not?
Okay, yeah, I forgot I was going to bring that up too. Wade looks close to a year old, maybe. I'm really more confused about why Wally has is one of his older costumes again, and what happened to his Flash costume. It's where to go. Like, yeah, he grew a lot of facial hair
Like
in
a
that
lot.
time.
That's like a couple. That's like a couple years worth of beard.
I don't know. I don't know about a couple of years. Like, I could grow
That's
that within a
poofy.
year. I
Okay,
have
a
grown that
year.
within a year. I've grown that in like 6 months actually. But like, yeah, like there's a lot of secret story there that I really hope Jeremy Adams has a plan for that we get to see one day. If it's not happening in 800, which I have a sneaking suspicion it might, um, hopefully he's got like some backup plan to tell more story with the Flash because I'm already suffering from withdrawal from his Flash and it's not even over yet.
Heard
Yeah.
and seconded for sure. Um, that man, all I can really say it's a really fun issue. Introducing these children, giving us something to think about, and flat out revealing another one. It is insane what they did here. But it was really good. Mostly nice to look at in every single spot, and a couple others especially with those opening facial expressions. It is not. But all in all, man, a really decent issue before number 800. I gave this a fun as Flash can be 8 out of 10.
Hell yeah.
Run
All right.
that.
Well, for now, that is our books for the week. We will have more in our paid episode. Just feel free to subscribe. $2.99 a month, if I remember, Josh.
That's correct.
That it is. Just check out our Discord. Go to our website to check that out. But before we leave you for today, we are going to go into our top 3 books of the week, minus technically the bonus review bonus episode books,
Yeah.
and a favorite moment if we had one. I'll start us off right now. My top 3 right away. I'm going with the honorable mention. Superboy Man of Tomorrow #2. I'm just taken with this book. I've been waiting a
It's
long
really
time
good, isn't it?
for. Oh God, yeah, I've been waiting a long time for a DC Cosmic title that like goes places, and this is going lots of places, and it's
Yeah, like
freaking
Uber
great.
Black. I mean, it's everything.
Yeah. Number 2, I had Batman Superman World's Finest #15, and number 1 had to go to Flash 799. And favorite moment for me, Omega Bandman and Gold Beetle getting super excited to fight giant monsters and winning, and especially more when the Anti-Monitor shows up, leaving the Terrifics just stunned. It's just
Right?
fantastic. Yeah.
Terrific's just going, is this really happening? that that was great. My top 3, for the first time, and I think ever, at least certainly in the last 18 issues. I have in number 3 Bad Girls. It's never broke top 3 before.
Damn.
Number 2 is Catwoman, and as much as I have been a little harsh on this book lately, it blew my mind this week. Number 1 goes to World's Finest. My favorite moment is it's easily Batman wearing the Metal Men. That was so fucking cool.
It
What an
was.
excellent, awesome idea. There was a lot of cool moments this week, but that one I was give me Dan Mora drawing a composite suit anytime. I want to read a Dan Mora Voltron book. I want to read a Dan Mora
Bro.
Power Rangers book. I want to read
I
Dan
think he
Mora
did.
drawing fucking Transformers. I need all of these things.
I think he did do Power Rangers. Let me double check that. I know he
He
did
did.
covers. Yeah. Yeah, he was an artist and penciler and inker on the Power Rangers comic from Boom Studios. So you
They
already got your
they
win.
actually just did the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers TMNT crossover sequel with Ryan Perot and Dan Mora.
Oh, no shit.
Right on.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he was like the original artist when they relaunched a few years back, and he did a lot of issues. So, and it's as gorgeous art as you can imagine.
That's epic,
God
dude.
damn,
I
there's
had
even a
no
splash
idea.
cover that has every single Power Ranger in existence on it, all drawn by Dan Mora.
Sign me up.
Holy shit.
Oh, I'm going to show that to my 7-year-old, and he is going to lose his shit.
Yeah, I'll send it to you now.
Oh, for sure. Please do, man. I'll post it over to the family Discord. That is epic.
All right. And Brandon, what about you, bud?
At number 3, I had World's Finest, which is, as always, is a pleasure. At number 2, I have a book which you guys are going to get to cover, but not I, which is Titans #1. Just a really nice start. But But number one, I have to give to Superman #4. Just too much damn fun with that book. And of course, my favorite moment of this week has to be the splash page ending with Jimmy Olsen. But I'll also give a honorable mention to the one with Nick Dragotta drawing the Lex super suit. That was also really cool.
The original Lexosuit, if you will.
Yes,
I guess not really. It's not
exactly.
really an exosuit, but I love the Lexosuit so
Close
much.
enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a pretty good
Lexosuit.
design. It's really cool. Yeah,
I said Lexo suit. I dig it.
yeah. I don't even know if that's Superman the Animated Series creation, calling it a Lexosuit, or if that was in the old comics. I don't know, but I just love that name so much. All right, so that was our favorite moments, and now it's time for your favorite moments. It is
The biggest thinker.
Oh, that's nasty.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't have one.
Oh, I do. It's Superman.
Even more than Wonder Woman?
Yeah.
Damn.
Dude, Wonder Woman got a 6.5. I gave Superman a 5. It continues to event shit. It's on level, very close to surpassing Brian Michael Bendis levels of absurdity. I can't handle it. It's gross. I'm used to being alone. Don't worry.
I
I
can't
was alone
believe you.
during Bendis' entire run too.
Oh no, you were not alone during Bendis' entire run. I think I don't think there was many fans of Bendis' run.
Well, that would surprise me.
Yeah. I mean, the second he aged up John, people were just on the defensive or on the
Oh yeah,
offensive.
people hated that.
Yeah. Brandon, what about you, man? You got any?
I didn't have a biggest thinker this week, to be honest.
Yeah, I rather enjoyed everything.
Well, isn't that fantastic? Look at you.
I think so. Thank you for noticing. All
All
right,
right,
so that's our show. Any last minute
show.
thoughts before we go? Anything to add in?
Nothing on mine.
No, but I'm really looking forward to talking about the rest of the books on our bonus show.
Definitely.
I know that for sure.
Yeah. It's gonna be fun. Lot of spotlight books. All right, well, look forward to that because for now, that's our show. Check us out on our paid review show coming to you very soon. And if you feel like supporting us, which is the only way you can check out our new paid show, check out our Discord server for only $2.99 a month. Visit our website, notarobotpodcast.com, for links to our Twitter, Instagram, Discord, other shows, etc. And subscribe to our Substack for bonus reviews, articles, and more. And as always, there's only one way we say goodbye around here. Until next time.
Be good to each other.
And don't be a robot. Hey, this is Josh from Not a Robot Podcast. We just wanted to let you know that we love doing these shows and appreciate that you're listening. To show us some support, we've cut everything out of the middle. Pay $2.99 a month to get full access to our Discord server on Discord. You get all of our shows as soon as they get released. You get to chat with us and a shout out on the podcast each and every week. You can head over to notarobotpodcast.com for links to join the Discord, send an email to have read on the show, links to our Substack, and more. Don't forget to find us on Twitter and Instagram too. Thanks again for listening. Now let's get you back to the show. Stay human.
Hello, humans. Sorry if I hurt your ears. I might have been a little loud. I have two headphones on. It's hard to tell. I'm going to take one off so I can actually hear how loud I am. If I just got louder, you know why. It's Rob here with Not a Robot Podcast, DC Comics Review Show number 147. 3 away from the big 150. This is the world's greatest comic show about the world's greatest superheroes. And with me, as always, is Brandon.
Hello, everybody.
And Josh with the bad joke.
Indeed. What does Wonder Woman call her lover's penis?
Oh, God. I don't... No, I don't want to know.
The Amazon Fulfillment Center.
Same day shipping?
Indeed.
Yeah. Oh, God.
You're welcome.
Brandon with the boo. I miss when I was the one that did the bad jokes. God damn it. I have a question. Before I came on the show, did you do bad jokes and I just kind of stole your thunder? Or was this...
Oh, no, yeah. I always did bad jokes. I've always done bad jokes. Yeah.
Fair enough.
That's why my family hates me so much.
I can't wait for my daughter to hate me too.
There's no feeling like it in the world, man.
Yeah. All right. So enough with the jokes. Today's books, we are looking at Batgirls number 18, Wonder Woman number 799, World's Finest number 15, Superman number 4, Catwoman number 55, and The Flash number 799. And if that sounds like a smaller list than usual, that is true. It is a little smaller. We will have bonus reviews in our upcoming paid episodes for subscribers to our show. Look forward to that coming out, I believe, around the same time as this. It should be ready, if I'm not mistaken, Josh.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Every Friday or at least right around noon.
Right on. Yeah, it'll be spotlight reviews and maybe a few bigger or key books will be in our paid review episode, where our free episode will be your general interest, knowledge books, if you will, as well as usual, the honorable mentions. But before we get into that, as we always do, let's talk about some news, if there's any, because I got nothing. It's been a dull week and I've found nothing of interest. Apart from my city's region of 3 cities, it was announced today that it is splitting into 3 distinct cities and not being a whole region by 2025. So that's a big thing happening, and I don't know what the hell's going to happen.
Oh, tax brackets are about to change.
Yeah, no group funding anymore.
Oh, man, nothing.
And it's all because of the city on the beach. Bastards.
Oh, them bastards. Never trust beach people.
Yeah.
Nothing's going on in my neck of the woods, but I just want to let people know that in the ads and the issues this week, you saw pages for volume 1 of the Virtuous Cycle. That's the Poison Ivy trade that's coming out. Hardcover.
Yeah.
It's out this month. You should go buy it because it is badass.
Definitely. Agreed. Hey, Twa, Brandon, what's going on in your neck of the woods?
Oh, I mean, aside from just finishing up finals, I have not seen any news. I haven't had much time to check either, but yeah, no, it's dry here at least from what I've seen.
Yeah. There's not been a lot to talk about. Well, I could bring up one thing. I haven't watched it, but apparently a teaser trailer, which I still find weird that comics are getting teaser trailers now for Ultimate Invasion. Is that what it's called? I don't remember now.
Maybe,
the
yeah.
Yeah, the Ultimate Comics return coming
Oh
in
yeah, yeah.
July,
Mhm.
with some interior art and look at different covers, plus a basic synopsis of the plot. And it sounds kind of interesting. Apparently, the maker wants to bring his old world back, and the Illuminati reform to try and stop him, but they fail, and he succeeds. And this is how the Ultimate Invasion begins. And it actually sounds pretty dope. Like, I believe in Jonathan Hickman and Brian Hitch, so I'm all for this.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I believe in Jonathan Hickman. That should be a fucking t-shirt. Um, for real though.
Yeah.
I think the first time that I saw a trailer for a comic book, at least that I can remember, was Metal, Scott Snyder's run.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think it was the first one I saw too. I don't know if it was the very first, but it was the earliest I remember.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking cool too.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a pretty cool video. And
But I
speaking of
guess,
Marvel, the only
yeah,
other thing I got is Fantastic Four number 750 came out this week. Bigger issue, really awesome story. I know I've talked about how good this book is in the past, and this issue was no different. It was a hell of a lot of fun. If you're not reading Fantastic Four, I know this is the DC review show, but goddamn, if you miss good Fantastic Four, read this book. It's good.
yeah. And there's no telling what might show up in the spotlight episode. So
Exactly.
just a reminder, it's only $2.99 a month. You get into our Discord, and our Discord is where you find all of the bonus episodes,
Yes. Plus us.
plus us.
Yeah. If
Or
you
you
ever
can
feel
come
like
and yell
talking
at
to
me,
us, yeah.
tell me how bad my jokes are. Agree with Rob, and give your condolences to Brandon.
Well, Brandon's almost done school, so he will be a little less stressed, a little more stress free. I mean to say.
He'll get 2.5 months of breathing, and then it goes back to normal. Um,
At least we hope.
right.
Yeah.
I guess if that's it with the news, we should move on to those that should be named.
Yes. Those honorables.
All right. I am going to kick this off with Superboy, the Man of Tomorrow #2. The art is pretty good. Story 2. If I were you, I would check it out. Black Adam #11. This story is absolutely insane, but like, really good way. And when the trade comes out, I'm buying it so I can read it again. The art is awesome too. Batman the Brave and the Bold. Actually, let me hit that one last. Dawn of DC Primer, that kick-ass double-page splash at the beginning, the one that we've seen in all the promo work. I want a textless print of that, please, anyone. Everyone looks really good. Speaking of which, is it odd to either one of you that Hawkman and Hawk Girl in that picture aren't near each other?
I honestly, the Hawks are always really freaking confusing. So not
Yeah,
in this instance, I'm gonna say not really, but we'll
we're just
see how
gonna
they
go
go.
with that.
Yeah.
All right. So
What I'm confused about is the
basically,
fact that John Stewart has white gloves, but nobody seems to think that's a big deal. But everybody's freaking out about Hal Jordan's green shoulders. So I don't know.
white boots. Um, so anyway, basically, this is just an issue telling us that Waller puts together a team so that she can kill all the heroes, and that's basically the gist of the Dawn of DC. And then finally, we have Batman: The Brave and the Bold #1. It's an anthology book. Batman story from Tom King and Mitch Grad's, a Stormwatch story from Ed Brisson and Jeff Spokes, a Superman story by Christopher Cantwell and Javier Rodriguez, in a story called Heroes of Tomorrow by Dan Mora, on both art and story. So far, they've all been pretty good. You can definitely smell the Tom King in that first run, but it's a good setup for a story. Interesting one in any case. So far they're all pretty good, and that's everything worth mentioning. Except for all the other ones that we're going to
I have one question.
shoot.
What does Tom King smell like?
I'm not allowed to say that.
Is that classified information?
It's classified information.
Okay, what does a Tom King story smell like?
Usually utter dog shit.
I think
know.
happiness and rainbows.
I'm alone. But whatever. So far this setup is good though.
Fair enough.
As
All
is
right.
the rest. And I don't know about you and Brandon, but the fact when I opened that up and I saw Stormwatch, I went cool.
Yeah. I was pleasantly surprised. That was very interesting that they're making another return, and the lineup they have for that team is very interesting.
Yeah, it can go in a million different directions. So let's just sit back and see what happens then.
Yeah, enjoy that ride. All right, well, that was our honorable mentions for the week, and now we're going to get into our quick bites section for the week, starting off with Batgirls number 18. Oh my god, I forgot to write down the creatives. Hold, please.
Written by Becky Cloonan and Michael W. Conrad, with art from, and then you fill in the rest of this.
Oh gosh, bear with me for a second while I pull up the issue. Wow, I knew I forgot to do something. I don't know how the hell this happened. Whew. Okay, so yes,
what's Rodriguez? It's Rico
Yeah.
Renzi and what?
Becca Carey on
Robbie
letters. Yeah. Robbie Rodriguez on art with Rico Renzi doing colors, Becca Carey on letters, and Jorge Corona with Sarah Stern did the cover. Featuring Gun Bunny and Gun Hawk, but coincidentally are not in this issue at all, which kind of disappointed me because I was looking forward to seeing them get beat up again. But that's neither here nor there. There's still one more issue in this run to go. We'll see if they show up. But for now, we continue on where the last issue left off with the sniper hunting the Batgirls and people around them in their part of town. And the Batgirls continue to try and solve the mystery of this mysterious sniper. To protect innocence, they fake turning themselves in, as the sniper has threatened more violence if the Batgirls do not publicly unmask and turn themselves into police. So they fake it and lie low, just to discover that they've become real heroes to the community, as the residents, in response to them turning themselves in, albeit not very, hold a rally in support of and to free the Batgirls, thereby putting themselves in very real danger. So the Batgirls get ready to go out in, possibly in costume or in their civilian identities. We'll find out next issue, to go out there, join the rally, and help protect them all. So damn shame this book is ending. I think next issue is the last one, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think so.
It's honestly not a top of the line book, but it's nowhere near the worst. It's a solid title, and this last arc so far is a heck of a way to go. I'm impressed with it. It's been good. 8.5 out of 10.
I'm kind of right there with you. On a strongly unusual note, I loved the art this issue. The slight swoop of the lines, the angles on the faces, backgrounds are all great. There's a panel in it with a cop car that looks awesome. Babs and Cass in another one that looks perfect. I guess what I'm saying is that the art is stellar.
Yep.
And I can't help but wonder if this is ending only because Cass is going to be a big character in the spirit world.
Oh, maybe.
It's also something that I'm curious about that is maybe that's where Black Alice is.
Oh yeah, we haven't seen
Maybe.
her since
Neza.
that event. Was it Neza? Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Lazarus Planet.
That's the one I was trying to remember. Yeah.
Yep. Grace O'Halloran, the podcast message that was at the end of the issue, that was a little bit emotional, man. That shit tugged at my heartstrings.
Yep.
Where has this level of writing in this book been in anything else that they have ever done? This is the best issue that Clunan and Conrad have ever written in any book. I gave it an 8.5 out of 10.
Definitely.
Surprised the shit out of me too, man.
Yeah, I also will be sad to see this book go. I mean, it's really become kind of a favorite of mine over the past few months. Just some really fun, solid, albeit short stories. And
Fun is the perfect way to describe this book.
yeah, and it's a shame that it kind of has to come to an end. So I'm hoping they can end this on a high note. But I'll be a little bit sad to see it go, which is good to know because the book started a little bit rough in terms of writing, but it really grew on me, and now it's come into its own, and I think will really kind of stand as a fun, unique run in the kind of testament of DC history. So I gave this an 8 out of 10. I had fun.
Right on.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to see how it ends. Hopefully, it ends with a to be continued for more to come. I'm down for that.
Definitely.
I'm happy there's going to be more casts, at least for a little bit.
Yeah. And if Steph does go away for a while, I hope she comes back with a proper cowl. Because this spoiler costume is not really doing it for me.
She'll show back up, and don't you dare complain about that spoiler costume. It's way better than her Robin costume and
practical
her
as a superhero costume.
I don't give a shit. It's practical as a Stephanie Brown costume.
I guess it's technically more practical than a Robin costume.
Exactly.
Covers more of the face. Anyway, that's enough about this Michael W. Conrad and Becky Cloonan book. Josh, what's going on with the other Michael W. Conrad and Becky Cloonan book in Wonder Woman?
In 3 words, I don't know. Written by Becky Cloonan and Michael W. Conrad. Art by Alita Martinez, Mark Morales, Megan Hetrick, Juan Fiera, Terry Dodson, Rachel Dodson, and Paulina Ganacho. Colors from Tamara Bonvillain, Terry Dodson, and Juan Fiera. Letters by Pat Rizzo, and the cover came from Yannick Paquette and Nathan Fairburn. All right, there. That's enough time on Wonder Woman and the Quick Bites. Holy shit, what a creative team.
It's a lot of artists.
Hell yeah, it is. So there's little going on as the team all seems to be relaxing, with both Steve promising Siegfried and Edda promising shit. What's her girlfriend's name? I can't remember. Either one of you guys know?
I do not remember.
No? Okay. Well, that's irrelevant. Anyway, promising that they'll tell them the stories of how they met Wonder Woman tomorrow. Then we go into this weird old style dream of Edda's and Diana in her old costume. Siggy does it too, dreaming of her in the afterlife. Steve during the war. But in all of them, Diana says something isn't right, and all of them know that that's true. It's kind of the story, kind of isn't the story. Then we see young Diana, as we've seen in the loads of backups with the art style to match, and that's a dream from Nubia. Io had one too. We finally find out where Diana herself is. She went to the Isle of Healing to get some rest and rejuvenation with the oracles of Themyscira, but now she won't wake up. I don't like the young Diana art, but the rest looks great, and the colors are right there throughout the whole thing, except that last panel of Diana where she's all golden. It's like all the same shade, and it looks like somebody just like wiped over it in Photoshop with a color sponge. This was super weird. The story, it feels like the setups to previous Diana stories, and that doesn't fill me up with hope like it does for Siegfried. I don't have much hope at all for this one. It got a 6.75 out of 10, and I think that was rather polite of me. Stop.
Fair enough. I don't dislike it as much as that. It's leading to a major anniversary issue with 800, so I think it's a good setup, but oddly feels like the story should have been part of 800. I imagine 800 is going to be supersized enough as it is, but this definitely feels like the story that should have been in 800. And yes, there is a second part to come, but this look back on the history of Wonder Woman and her teammates definitely feels like anniversary issue material. So it feels kind of weirdly placed in 799 instead of 800, but I'll wait till I get the second half of that issue to pass full judgment on this. It makes me very curious to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, I hope that that this isn't just some weird ass way to make a retconned way that she was introduced to everybody. Fingers crossed on that one. Anyway.
Yeah. Hope not.
That would be disappointing.
Yeah. All in all, though, like I'm not a huge fan of Polina Ganushow's art either, but I respect it. I can see that it is it's very talented work. It's just not my cup of tea.
Exactly.
Yeah. So apart from that, like I love the art throughout the entire issue, and the story was interesting enough to keep me interested. But 8.5 out of 10, I think it's an okay issue for now.
And you, Big BC?
I didn't get to check this one out, so I don't have anything to add. But
it's surprisingly little to say there.
Yeah, no, I have nothing really to say other than when I potentially get the chance to check it out, I'll have to let you know what my opinion was on this one. It seems kind of divisive.
It's a glorified picture book, realistically.
Fair
the story
enough.
story is technically lacking, but is beautiful to look at.
Yeah. So for right now, Brandon's score lays somewhere between 0 and 10.
Yeah.
Mighty fine score. It's full of potential.
Yeah. Speaking of fine, let's move on to the world's finest. Brandon, what you got for us?
Yeah, this is Batman Superman World's Finest, issue number 15, part 3 of our I almost called it Megamorpho, but no.
That's a
part
good
3
name.
of our. Yeah, no, part 3. I know, right? Oh my God, but yeah, no, part 3 of our sort of Metamorpho / Batman Superman team up, if you want to call it that. Basically, long story short, Superman and Robin are facing off against the Ultramorpho robot who has the powers and combined elements of many deadly things, one of those which happens to be kryptonite. But thanks to the timely intervention of Batman wearing not just Metamorpho, but the rest of the Metal Men as armor, is able to kind of stop the Metamorpho or Ultramorpho drone and lead them to hopefully get some answers. But unfortunately, Batman and Superman are flown off by Ultramorpho and are taken hostage to where the rest of the genius robot inventors are being held by none other than Amazo 2.0, aka New Mazo, who is bringing about the robot revolution, because you didn't see it enough in Futurama. We got to see it here too. And
I was going to say, I hope we see Bender.
Yeah, no, I remember that episode. Plus, they dropped the trailer for the Futurama reboot, so it's in my mind. But anyway,
God,
yeah, bringing about the.
Doesn't New Mazo sound like something you would hear on a TV infomercial?
Very much so. Yeah. New Mazo.
Hey, this is questionably between 1953 and 2002.
Yeah, that makes sense. But yes, no, New Mazo is hoping to bring about the robot revolution thanks to the not at all consensual help of the robot inventors, the DC universe. So yeah, that's pretty much the gist of this issue. like the rest of this arc, it's just been super fun. And um, honestly, what I love about World's Finest is just like each episode. See, each issue feels like an episode of kind of like a larger, contained story of like a TV show or something. It kind of reminds me of like, I don't know if you guys ever watched Spider-Man the animated series. I'm sure, but it kind of
Oh,
reminds me of
long
when they
time
would
ago,
do
yes,
like
sir.
the arcs on that show. So it'd be like
You say the title and the theme song just starts playing in my
yeah,
head
you can
with
hear
that
the
epic guitar riff.
Aerosmith, whatever it
Right.
was. But yeah, yeah, no, it kind of reminds me of that. Like each issue is an installment in these, small contained arcs within the larger tapestry of this world's finest continuity. So it's fun. Like just every time I come back to this series, it's always super fun. And I leave with a smile on my face. So this one got an 8.5 out of 10 for me.
I completely lost where my notes were. I was looking at the wrong book. I agree. Great arc. Lots of cool cameos in this issue. I thought was
A
might have
total
been
of
the
like
best.
20 characters.
Yeah, the Challengers of the Unknown, for crying out loud. Mark Waid, you're a master. Talk about a cult favorite. Like
So-
shit.
Batman, Superman, Supergirl, Robin, the Metal Men, Challengers of the Unknown, Doom Patrol, Metamorpho, Ultramorpho, Teen
Red
Titans,
Tornado.
Metallic, Chemo, and Numezo, and Red Tornado. And
I still
it's
feel
said
like we're
that
missing
the canon is that the Metal Men were brought to life by response meters, which I was hoping for. Sweet.
Good. Plus all the
Dan-
scientists as well. Like,
Right?
so
And yes,
many
and that's not
people.
even counting the scientists. Dan Mora,
Yeah.
art god.
Yep. Just solid. Like, fuck. I could say more, but I think Brandon has said 99% of it, and Josh's gonna say the rest. 9 out of 10. It's just a
I'm
great
right there
freaking
with you,
book.
man. It really is. The story is a little different, but it's very interesting. It's very crowded, but it didn't feel like it was.
Yeah.
This was the week's finest. I gave it a 9 out of 10.
Yeah. It's got such an interesting thing to it. Yeah. That it takes place in the past while still being a modern comic, and still feels like a modern comic, but also has that classic feel to it as well.
I feel like it's there again. It lost me for a little bit, but
Yeah.
this issue was great.
It's such a really well done amalgamation of two different eras. It's perfect. It really is. Yeah, I'll stop gushing about World's Finest for now. I'll wait till the next issue.
Oh yeah. One other thing. I got Batman wearing the Metal Men.
Yes.
Let me say that again. Batman wearing the Metal Men. Fuck yeah. That
And
was awesome.
what's potentially, and I got to go back and check the design, but what is potentially a beta version of, or pre-alpha or whatever, of the Hellbat suit.
I kind of got those vibes too.
Yeah, like he
But I tell you
wore
what,
them
one
and
thing
then
we
thought,
know is that-
maybe I could do this myself.
Dan Mora is the world's greatest composite costume designer ever.
Oh, hell yeah. I'm excited to see what else Batman fuses with.
Right? No shit. But, yeah, that shit was awesome, man. 9 out of 10 surprised the hell out of me.
Definitely. All right. So that is our quick bite section for the week. We are going to take a quick commercial break. Stay tuned.